everyone to the newest episode of the GamingForFools podcast. I'm your host, Brian, otherwise known as Pliskin Plays. I'm doing today's show solo because my pal Eric, he couldn't make it today, but he'll hopefully be here for the next one. So, a huge PlayStation showcase just happened about an hour, 2 hours ago, and so much good stuff was dropped. This is probably the best showcase, best state of play-ish kind of demonstration we've seen in a long time. Uh, so we've got about actually 7 takes for you guys. I'm not gonna tell you what they are until we get to them, but we're just gonna get right into it. The first take here from the PlayStation showcase, we're only talking about the PlayStation showcase. I'm selecting things that are near and dear to me because Eric is like the resident Switch owner. He's in charge of like the Xbox side and Nintendo side. I'm pretty much in charge of like PlayStation side, and so I'll be talking more on that perspective as opposed to like third party and the rest. So here we go. The first game on the list here we're gonna be talking about is Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, which started off in this swampy, heavily forest, dense area, and immediately my mind went to MGS3. Took a look at the chat. Chat said MGS3. I'm like, maybe, we'll see. It's a long rumor thing, but we've gotten absolutely uh, no information besides some LinkedIn posts and requests for work. And so this thing started going. There's a snake, and snake got into a little fight with an alligator, and it looked cold, sweaty, and my mind immediately went to like a God of War 2018 reveal where you've got this ominous figure in the shadows emerging into light, which would be the reveal of the character in the game, because both of those characters are iconic characters. You can't mistake them for anything else. And so, sure enough, I was kind of right. The camera zoomed way into the forest to this little ditch, and this figure steps out from the fucking lake, and lo and behold, it's Big Boss, Big Boss to be. It's Snake, and dude, this is like the hardest I've fucking fangirled for a review in a long time. Like, I think the last time I was excited for a game to this extent was probably Deathloop, because Deathloop is my favorite developer at the moment. And so immediately my question was, I had like three causes for concern. Who's voicing Snake? Who's developing this remake? And when is it coming out? And we have basically no information to any of those questions aside from one of them. So if you go to descriptions like on YouTube and on various sites like IGN, GameStop, and such, you're gonna see a little description of the game. And so of course it's like MGS3 remake, brought to life, PS5, of course. But the important detail is a lot of the original voice actors are returning to this game. The game's featuring, in quotes, original voice actors. So this leads me to believe that Hater is coming back for MGS3. If you guys don't know, or you guys are newer to the series, David Hayter was X'd out of the MGS series after 5. Unceremoniously, by the way, he found out that he wasn't in the fucking game by having lunch with the producer of MGS5. The game had already been in development for 6 months, and the producer was like, "Hey man, listen, like you're not in the game. Like, we've got someone else." Opposed to Kojima, who hired him, who's been directing him for the past 20 years, and it's pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up how that happened. Hater was told he wasn't gonna be in MGS5 by a producer, you know. Instead of Kojima, instead of uh, his writers, the screenplayers, like all these people that probably were ahead of the line in terms of like management, developer studios, and stuff like that. He was kind of they broke up with him via text essentially. It's fucked up. Anywho, so where did that leave us in 2023? I think David Hayter is coming back. I think he'll be back voicing Snake. The fans want it. I want it. I think David Hayter is an amazing voice actor. He's an amazing writer too. If you've seen the X-Men movies, the earlier ones. And I wasn't really a fan of Keith or Sutherland, man. Like he was mostly mute for that game, but when he did speak, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. It's just one of those characters tied with a iconic voice actor that it's just he's irreplaceable. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's like Van Halen without Van Halen or Led Zeppelin without Bill Ward. It's just you just can't continue. It's hard to replace someone like that. And so now we're here at the remake, and I think that he'll be back, and I think the fans will be happy about that. Now, second question: who the fuck is developing MGS3? In other words, it's been a long time since we've seen Konami develop a AAA game, so I think they're probably outsourcing this remake to another developer, but to who is the question. My guess would probably a safe bet would be like Bluepoint. That's probably the safer bet. Who the fuck knows, man? It's crazy. Like Arcane would be a great candidate for that. Um, who else makes good stealth games right now? Basically just Arcane. Um, maybe a Ubisoft, but it just that wouldn't make any sense. Anyhow, so my last little question concerning the remake before we move on is, how does Kojima feel about this? Like he's getting his Twitter feed bombarded, he's getting DM'd, he's getting touched on the shoulder, he's getting tickled. How does he feel about his essentially to a lot of his fans his best game being remade without him and with voice actors that he's kind of replaced and he doesn't really. I don't know if he. I don't even know if he respects David Hayter anymore because Kojima wanted to replace Hayter since I think it was after the second game. He was looking for Kurt Russell to replace Hayter as Snake. He wasn't called until after the negotiations with Kurt fell through because he had like a movie or something like that. So the fact that he's been wanting to replace Hayter since
Hello.
MGS3
First time watcher here.
and
The show.
yo, what's
Excited
up,
about
man?
the Metal
Oh
Gear
my god,
Solid remake.
the Metal Gear Mid Solid remake. Oh my god, what's up, Eric? And I just don't, I don't think Hayter would be. I don't know. I feel like Hayter has a slight axe to grind against Kojima, but I don't think it's anything they couldn't talk over. But I don't know. Kojima, he definitely was missing on some. He was disrespecting Hayter for sure. So let's get back to the second take here. Moving on. Take two. Alan Wake has been announced. We've heard about this for a long time now. I recently played Alan Wake Remastered on the PS5. I thought it was a solid game. Alan Wake does some things that are really, really interesting, but also kind of falls into some cliches in terms of like its protagonist. Ironically, its writing because the whole game is centered around a writer. I, I will say though, the lighting system and the way the game treats lighting is unlike anything I've seen in any other game. In Alan Wake, the light is your compass, it's your source of health, it's your sanctuary, it's even your weapon. Like it's really crazy how this small detail we take for granted every day is a main mechanic in essentially I wouldn't call Alan Wake a horror game, but I would call it more. I would put it more in the thriller side because it's not that scary. Um, the comment I made about the writing for Alan Wake isn't really great. I don't know. Um, what I mean by that is I think Alan Wake was supposed to be like a horror game, and Alan Wake isn't scary at all by today's standards, and that was a remake made recently. Um, the reason why I say that is because the things that the enemies say in the game are kind of fucking weird, and they're almost comedic. They'll be like, "Oh, you shouldn't forget to take a bag to, you shouldn't forget a bag when you go camping. Always have MRIs." Like, what the like? It's like highly descriptive and like really weird. It's like it's not scary at all. It's just weird, and it takes you out of the scene, and like it happens a lot. Like the writing in the game isn't what I expected it to be, considering it's about protagonist who's a writer, which is like the funniest thing. But I will say I overall enjoyed the the environments, the setting, the tone. Again, the lighting was incredible. The game played interestingly well, third person, over the shoulder shooter. Game wasn't too hard, but I overall did enjoy my time with Alan Wake. And funny enough, Alan Wake 2 comes out on my birthday, which is October 17th. So I'll be picking that up. Maybe get myself a little birthday present with that. But I do look forward to Alan Wake 2 coming out on October 17th, 2023. So third take I have on here is Phantom Blade Zero, developed from Game S. And this is a third-person Souls game. Takes place in uh, like a era, like late Chinese era, and it's again like very similar to your Neos, to your Wang. Is it Wang Dynasty? Fuck me. Your Neos, your Sekiros, that kind of thing. But here's the thing: like the environments look incredible. Gameplay looks fast and fluid. Looks kinetic. It kind of does a Assassin's Creed thing where I don't know if you guys played 3, but Assassin's Creed 3 did a thing where you could chain your attacks to other enemies. Not in the sense of like you kill one guy, you could kill another guy instantly. Not that. I mean, you can hit 2 enemies at once, and you can do that via your katana. So you could kill a guy in the throat, you could stab a guy in the throat, and in the same swipe, you could get another guy. And so it made the gameplay very cinematic, very fluid. It looks fun. I love the enemy designs. Um, Game looks hard, and it's my kind of game. It's difficult, fast, it's deadly. It's I love the Souls game. So if you're a big fan of the Souls franchise, the Souls kind of difficulty, yeah, this is probably the game for you. Especially if you like Neo, Sekiro. There's another one. I think it's called Wong Dynasty. It's coming out soon. It's similar, but this looks especially cool. That's take number 3. Take number 4 is Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, Assassin's Creed Mirage has been teased for about a year now. I think it was announced mid to late last year. And this game has been advertised in the sense that it's going back. It's going back to its roots in the way that Assassin's Creed 1, 2 was more about assassinations, making a plan, as opposed to like Valhalla. That's like it's a Witcher 3 clone with all these crazy mystical beings and powers, and again Souls like combat. It's going back to its roots, and that's what I personally love in Assassin's Creed. Like I think Odyssey was like the farthest it should have gone in terms of like mechanics and gameplay, because you're adding a lot of RPG light mechanics like gear, progression, skills, skill trees, that are cool. I love those mechanics in games like Fallout, but anything Bethesda. But in Assassin's Creed, it's a stealth action game, and so I don't know if those kinds of mechanics belong in Assassin's Creed. I think they're cool, but to me that's not what Assassin's Creed is. So the fact that they're stripping a lot of these extra things back that are kind of unnecessary in a game like this, going back to the roots, new location, new protagonist, it's looking to be pretty cool. We saw some gameplay, looks amazing. I saw this really cool mechanic where the protagonist kind of he made like a move. I want to compare it to like Transistor. If you guys have played it, in Transistor you can pause time, and you can be like, okay, press X to jump over here, press square to kill guy number one, square again to kill guy number two, and then guy number three, and then you can unpause the game, and you could do all those actions you just planned out in a single swift move without any more inputs. So it's really cool. It's like a it's really really interesting. I want to know how that plays out because that could be fucking awesome. So, and I also wonder if that means Eagle Eye is gonna be a consumable essentially. It's gonna have like a bar. You can only make so many moves before your Eagle Eye runs out. So it's gonna be really fucking interesting because I love that mechanic in Transistor. 'Cause it's gonna give you like a turn-based thing, I think, with AC, and I mean that's awesome. That's gonna be really interesting. Now, again, the game didn't really highlight this. It happened so quickly. It was like a 2 or 3 second clip, but it struck me as like a turn-based thing. So if AC Mirage does take somewhat of a turn-based thing, optionally, by the way, like you don't. This is tied to Eagle Eye, which you don't have to use. So you don't have to use mechanic if you don't like it, which I'm sure a lot of purists wouldn't. But I'm open to it, and I'm hoping that it's fucking uh, interesting and is useful. Anyways, um, Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out October 12th, I believe. Very very soon. Again, October's looking fucking stacked. It looks cool, so I can't wait for that one. That's AC Mirage. That's also take number 4. Moving on, take number 5. Resident Evil 4 VR mode is coming out. This is pretty expected for VR too. This is Capcom whatchamacallit port, VR port. I think it's cool. I'm really surprised that they went first person. I'm wondering because there's a lot of games that you could play in VR, first person, third person. But I wonder if Capcom is giving the players a chance to not only play first person but a third person, because RE4 again is originally made in third person. So I'm interested to see if Capcom will give you the chance or the choice to play in that mode. Again, RE4, I played that earlier this year. Fucking incredible. One of the best remakes I've ever played. Play it if you haven't already. That's take number 5. Take number 6. Destiny has announced another add-on DLC. It's coming out late this year. If you are a slave to Destiny, then this is like porn to you. This is like the cum shot. It's not for me. I love Destiny. I spent too much time in Destiny, and I'm retired. It's just I can't do it anymore, guys. Destiny is just a fucking time sink. Last take, Spider-Man 2. This is what closed out the PlayStation Showcase. Spider-Man 2 was an extended gameplay reveal. First time we've ever seen gameplay. We had only seen cinematics, the last trailer. And it confirmed a lot of things that people had been wondering about. So first of all, people were wondering if this was going to be co-op. Hence, Miles Morales and Spider-Man being in the game.
No more Destiny streams loudly crying face.
So Spider-Man is gonna do a GTA 5 thing. Spider-Man's doing a GTA 5 thing where you can be in another side of the map. Miles Morales will be on the other, and if you need to get to a place quickly, you hit a button and you just switch right over to Miles Morales. It looks seamless. So I mean that looks fucking awesome. They also kind of revealed. Here's like my quick overall thoughts. Like I think Insomniac showed a little too much story. They showed a lot of gameplay and a lot of story. I think they showed too much story. They kind of spoiled the fact that Peter gets infected with the symbiote, which is probably it's expected. You know, when it comes to Spider-Man, it's happened in the fucking movies. It's happened in the comic books. It's happened in other video games too. But I don't know. Like this, I would have held that to my chest and see if that was even a possibility. But I don't know, man. I mean, that's I feel like that was they showed a little too much on the story side. But I think what we did see it was awesome. Like the gameplay with the symbiote was aggressive. His obviously his tone changed. when speaking to Morales, speaking to other people. There was even a clip where he, Venom, symbiote Spidey saved the guy, and like the way he threw the fucking civilians to the ground was so disrespectful. Like he saved them from like a burning vehicle coming towards him, and he just grabs a guy and like he just goes like, bah! And the guy, and like, man, the guy like, how are you not fucking pissed? Anyways, the gameplay looked great. Changes with the Spidey, the Venom stuff looks really awesome. Looks really aggressive. Utilizing a lot of those tentacles, the symbiote stuff looks great. I like how you could seamlessly transition from Morales to Spidey without a loading screen. Um, the the extended chase scene with Connor was awesome. Going from gameplay to cutscene, all seamless without any kind of loading screen again. Fucking great. Kept up the pace, the momentum of the scene. Um, Obviously, this is really it seems to be early in the game, maybe mid section of the game, because Miles Morales' reaction to Peter in the Venom suit was fresh. So honestly, this probably just occurred to him that this happened. Again, I'm probably thinking it's gonna happen in either the mid game, maybe late game, because I can't imagine Insomniac giving you an entire new set of skills early in the game. I feel like you have to hone your base skills, and then eventually, when you get to like a halfway point of the game, you're going to be given the suit. But overall thoughts on that extended trailer, man, it looks great. Excellent. I gotta play Miles Morales now because um, I gotta catch up. By the way, we didn't get a release date for Miles Morales. We still don't know when that game is coming out. Um, the fact that they didn't give us even a quarter is probably telling that it's gonna come out. If Abdonia can make it, the fact that they're developing two games at the same time, maybe Q4, December, November, or it could possibly be pushed back to January, February, March, early next year at the latest. Because if they're confident in the game, which by the way hasn't even gone gold, again very telling that the game isn't far along. They would have said so. They would have said Q4. They would have said Q1 2024, but they didn't. So that again tells me everything. Expect the game late this year, early next year at the latest. Oh yeah. On the next episode, Eric will be back, and we'll be taking a look at the PlayStation Showcase from more of a perspective of Nintendo, Xbox, and the we didn't really get into the new Sony handheld. We didn't get into some of the fighting games because that's more of Eric's expertise. He's got like I said, the Switch. He's got Xbox. Again, he plays fighting games. We're getting at that side of the show in the coming days. We're gonna get Eric's takes on the overall show. Again, go over the announcements in the game. So please look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.